You know, as I take a look at how social media plays out in current society in this day and age, I can't help but laugh. I look at some of these comments that's on Facebook and on Twitter and on Instagram, and shit be funny as hell, right? But I feel like social media kind of lost its way a long time ago, and it's just become something over time that we honestly need to get back what social media used to be, right? So like there'll be statuses on Facebook talking about, you know, like one of the things that makes me laugh is when they be like, what happened to men picking women up during sex? And one of the comments on there, this dude posted a picture with a comment, and he said, ain't nobody trying to pick up a woman the size and shape of the Michelin Tire Man. And I started crying. I'm like, yo, you can't be saying shit like that. I'm like, yo, this shit's funny as hell, right? Or when you got, bro, I'm like, yo, shit's nuts to me, right? I'm like, yo, I'm over here just dying because I can't even picture that. You know what I'm saying? But then you look at how social media is today, and social media put a mask on so many people, bro. Like it just put a mask on like the vast majority of the people who actually use it. It's like you can't. It's almost hard to determine what's real and what's fake unless you have direct interaction with that person. Okay, because they could post memes, they could say anything all day about what certain things are, but at the end of the day, it's like that social media mask that they have on their face when they're posting memes about what you deserve, this, that, and the third. But then you see the physical interaction with that person, and you realize just how
the total opposite of
that person is. You know what I mean? And it's like I always say this, like the social media interpretation, right? The social media interpretation, right? Most of the time when I see things, I almost want to think the opposite of what they're saying. You know what I mean? Like me, now I use social media for a different premise, right? I'm going to be deleting the Messenger app on my Facebook, and I'm going to be changing my number within the last 2 or 3 weeks. So literally, I'd say about a month. I'd say in about a month, I'm changing everything up. You know what I mean? I'm not going to have any of this extra shit no more. I'm not going to be doing I'm only using social media strictly for my own personal comedy. If I see any misinformation, if I see any bullshit, if I see any political bullshit, it's getting taken out and it's done. And it's not because of the fact that I don't care to know about what's going on in the political world. It's because of the fact that at this point in time and in this day and age, it's just enough is enough. It's like social media has become purely political. Everything about it has just become purely political. I'm like, there's no respect for differences of opinion. I'm like, it's just gotten to the point when everything has just gotten ugly. It's like people who post things on Facebook, who post these pretty things on Facebook, but got an ugly soul and personality. Like it's the social media mask, and it's just the utter hypocrisy that comes from the person when they're posting things on social media that kills me. And it's just the fact that what I don't get and what I don't understand more than anything is why have we come to a day and age where we have to put on a mask just to show people certain things. You know, you got social justice warriors, warriors that, you know, they go around and they say all the craziest things, and they're, you know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be like, oh, if you don't represent what I represent, then you're a piece of shit. Or if you don't think what I think, then automatically you're a failure. And it's like, and it's just like you're a failure to us because you don't believe certain things. And it's like,
it shows their disingenuous nature by trying to enforce a belief that not everyone is not going to believe in. It also has a God-given right to not believe in. If anything, that goes about sharing and understanding. Like, we could disagree with each other and still understand each other. That's where the term agree to disagree genuinely comes from.
Here's the thing, right?
Genuinely.
Michael Knowles and Matt Welch, right? Those are two names that have garnered a lot of hatred in society today. Do you want to know why? It's because when they say things, they speak from a scientific standpoint. When they speak from knowledge, they speak from research, they speak
logic and statistics,
from all of those things, right?
Right.
But nowadays the populace speaks on feelings. So this social media mask that you have on you, because let's be honest. You really think
feelings doesn't equal facts.
Let's really be honest here though. You really think at the end of the day, when people is coming around here, this, that, and the third, saying all this extra shit on social media, you think that they're gonna go out in public where you're not protected like you are behind the screen and talk to these people the same way that you're talking to them now? Because the vast majority of them is definitely not.
That,
you know what I mean?
The social media mask gives a lot of people who they know they're not really that upfront or forthcoming off the internet. It gives them a false courage to be able to say the things, not just that they want or mean to say, but even the things they may not mean, but they say it anyways because they're trying to follow a trend or a populace that they think or feel cool.
Here's the thing.
Most, not all.
No. You're 100% right. It is all. It's when you go on social media, there is a trend. There is a baby father and a baby mother trend that just probably won't ever end until like the existence of humans end. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's the baby mother and the baby father trend is just that's a trend that's been going on for so long, right? Which I'm gonna actually talk about in another episode. But you know, you guys, I'm probably gonna garner a lot of hatred for the next episode, but I really honestly don't care. And I'm really gonna go off about a lot of topics over the course of these series of episodes that I'm gonna be uploading. The thing is that we have come to a point and we have come to an impasse that there is no understanding. There is no, okay, you are who you are, I am who I am. We can either coexist or we can keep it the fuck pushing. You have your beliefs, I have my beliefs. We're either going to be okay with the fact that we have different beliefs, or are we just going to continue to keep telling ourselves that the shit that we're doing just isn't okay? And it's just that I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Social media has garnered way too much power in just any aspect of life right now, where it's like you go on TV and comedy is just too much. Like to be funny nowadays, it's only certain things that you can talk about that won't garner somebody, that won't get somebody to be, oh, I'm offended by this. Well, don't fucking watch what the fuck he's saying if you're offended. If you don't like what the fuck is going on, then don't watch it. If you don't like the fact that football is doing this, then don't fucking watch it. Yet it be the same people that's offended by something that continues to watch the shit just to have something to say on social media, instead of just doing what any normal fucking person does and just simply not support something that they don't like. It doesn't have to be something. You can't describe somebody's personality based on what they say unless you know 100% for a fact that they are delivering hatred. You can't deliver hatred through a disagreement or through a logical and an educational standpoint. That's not where you're delivering hatred. You're delivering hatred from a place where you literally spit insults, and when you spit insults and you have nothing but negative things, not educational things to say.
When a person is speaking from a place whether agreed or disagreed upon, but they have factual points, there's a word behind that, and it's not an opinion. It's called an assessment, something that is a word that's foreign to a number of people out there.
Yeah.
An opinion is something that is based on a belief, regardless if it holds intellectual or factual viewpoints in the context.
Feelings as well.
Yes, especially feelings. An assessment is where it's like you're approaching from an opinionated place, but there's a lot of educational research. You could tell the person who's presenting it is speaking from a place where they're trying to assess the situation, good or bad.
Well, I think that assessment, I'm going to add on to that, because assessment is 100% fact. Assessment is bringing nothing but facts to the table when you're assessing the situation, because you see everything that what's going around from you. When you have a conversation, you're taking place in a conversation. When you bring this assessment to the table, there's a list of facts, there's a list of things that's there that goes against that other person's opinion. It doesn't necessarily mean that just because I disagree with you from this standpoint, doesn't mean that I hate you because that you believe that. That just means like for example, my coworker at work, right? My coworker, his name, my coworker Ben, right? Mm-hmm. So he works in the camera department. All right, he's one of the most chill guys you will ever meet. Right, one of the most chill guys you ever meet. But he is very assertive when it comes to especially things that he supports. He's very assertive. Right. So one of the things that we had a disagreement on was The Matrix Resurrections. The Matrix Resurrections, to me, was a garbage movie, right? Why? Because of the fact that it's like the reenactment of the first one, right? It's literally like a slower, recycled. It's like a slower and a recycled version of the first Matrix, right?
You see, he told
me that, you know what, I thought it was a great movie. I thought Keanu Reeves killed it. You know, it was one of those, it was a blockbuster hit. But then he immediately said, and then when I told him, I'm like, listen, this is the reasons why I don't like this movie. I started with my first 3 reasons that were all punctual. These are punctual points that I was putting out there, right? He says, we're just gonna agree to disagree. You know what I mean? And that in that moment, it's like, in that moment, he was like, you know what? I get, you know, I have my reasons why I have my reasons why I hate it. He has his reasons why he likes it. Yeah. It doesn't mean we're not cool with each other because of the fact that he finds Matrix Resurrections good and I find it utterly fucking terrible. But he actually sits there and he respects he respects it. You know what I mean?
Even in disagreement, y'all was able to be assessive.
Exactly. We were able to
an assessment.
Exactly.
Shared an assessment. In translation, when you're speaking from a place of opinion, well, you can share an opinion from a healthy and respectful place. But most people has this context to speak in household terms. When you're being opinionated, it's more like, I believe this, I believe that, because I said so, I'm right, you're wrong type of deal. When you're assessing, it's I believe this or I believe that because this is why. They're presenting something that's backing up their explanation.
Like Ben Shapiro, I got a message for you, man, and I hope that this gets out to you. I enjoy watching every single last one of your videos.
Same here.
I really do.
Same here, bro.
You have such a strong standpoint on a lot of things. We might not agree on some things, but I mean, it's very few things that I feel like that we wouldn't be able to agree on. And if one day I could literally sit down with you and have a conversation about current politics and things like that, I would love to do that, right? But the thing is, though, because, you know, I'm just a regular citizen, man. I'm a nobody. But you, man, you're definitely something. Your name is out here. Of course, a lot of people who are what I don't call opinionated, I call feelinated, where they use their feelings to generate their opinions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They use their feelings to generate opinions that they think are established facts in current society. I'm like, who think that social progression is a thing when it's not. Social progression does not exist. And social progression is honestly a myth. That's just basic. Social progression is just an idea of saying that, you know, I feel like that this is a thing, so now because I feel like that this is a thing, this has to be an established fact.
A lot of people think feelings and facts are the same thing. From a emotional thinking state of intelligence, it can add to facts.
You're right.
Because it's involving intellect and thought of sensibility and stability involved. But when you're overthinking, which both logical and emotional things can do, that's when you're coming from a place of wanting to be right rather than sharing or providing what is right.
And nobody's saying that your feelings is wrong. You can feel whatever you want to feel, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that is a situated fact. You can literally sit there and say whatever it is that you want. I don't give
I agree.
Here's the thing: if I got cheated on in a relationship, I have a fucking right to feel like I don't want to be with that motherfucker anymore because she wants to fucking cheat. That's a feeling that I have. I'm pissed off because I got cheated on. That's a feeling that you have because of a situation that hits you right in your fucking chest. I get that, right? But when it comes to societal things, your feelings may be incorporated, but it isn't an established fact. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, yo, and you know what? Like I said before, like all those people that I just mentioned before, like Matt Welsh and Michael Knowles and All these other people that actually stand up and have such strong opinions that garner a lot of hatred from people, especially of particular communities. I literally want to have a roundtable conversation with all of these people, because
I would like to be a part of that too.
They're so respectful of other people's opinions, even though they most likely won't agree with you, especially if it's an opinion that's formed from feelings, not from facts that you might have looked up. But that's just what it is. Social media put on this mask that really thinks like, okay, this is who I am when I log on to Facebook. This is who I am when I log off. This is literally what social media has become. And it affects public relations, it affects politics, it affects everything now, because you have a couple of thousand people that start a thread about something they don't like. You have somebody enter into that thread and be like, I don't understand why you don't like this. This is the list of facts that I looked up as to debunk your opinion, and they get deleted, they get blocked, they get, you know what I'm saying, their comment is deemed offensive. Like, how is a factual statement deemed offensive? And that's the thing that kills me. And you know what?
Because fact and truth challenges those that's only comfortable with facts that's convenient to their comfort zone situation.
Yeah, it only ties into the facts that are developed through their feelings.
Bingo.
What it is this. What they find offensive is when there are facts that are legitimate facts, that are researched facts, that are scientific facts, that are political facts, that is historical facts. They override the facts that are generated from your feelings. And that is what people have been deeming offensive, and I will never do that. Basically, to wrap this up, what I'm going to sit there and I'm going to say is that, guys, listen, I'm going to have a lot of videos about social media. I'm going to have a lot of videos about why social media should not be having this sort of an impact on our day-to-day life. I'm going to have plenty of things to talk about with social media. But what I will say, especially right now, is that we need to buck up. We need to stand up, and we need to say that just because 2,000 people doesn't like something doesn't mean 300 million people give a fuck. Okay, I'm never going to apologize for what I am. I'm never going to apologize for what I do. I'm never going to apologize for what I say, because at the end of the day, everything that I'm saying right now, I'm going to stay firm and stay true to who I am as an individual. If you don't like it, you got two things. I got two words for you. Fuck off. That's the only thing I'm ever going to tell you to do. Because at the end of the day, what I'm presenting to you, how I'm talking to you right now in this situation, is exactly how the fuck I'm going to talk to you if you were standing right the fuck in front of me.
The social media mask has gave a lot of people the ability to feel comfortable and in their minds powerful enough to be content in their complacencies and where they're stagnant and not wanting to change those complacencies and limitations that they know people in the right mind is not going to tolerate. And that's what shakes them up.